Now we will see how to run the injectability test. For this demonstration, we will use a prewetted crushed brick-filled column. First, place the column on the stand. Attach the bottom rubber stopper connected to the flexible joining tube, and then the top one connected to the overflow tube. Next, secure the column and the stoppers using the metal tie. Pour 500 grams of grout into the test container. Then measure and record the initial temperature of the grout on the data collection sheet. Now place the container in the pressure vessel and close the lid of the vessel. Turn on the compressed air supply with the ball valve on the flexible tube closed. Adjust the pressure in the vessel to 0.075 megapascals. Check the vessel for leaks. If the pressure in the vessel decreases, release the pressure, open the vessel lid, reclose it, and repeat the previous step. The experiment should begin within 4 minutes after the completion of mixing. Open the ball valve on the flexible tube. Start the stopwatch when the grout reaches the bottom wire mesh, otherwise known as the zero level. Note the time elapsed when the grout reaches the heights of 50 mm, 100 mm, 150 mm, 200 mm, 250 mm, 300 mm, and 360 mm, which were already marked on the column during column preparation. Continue injecting until the column is full and 20 ml excess grout is collected at 1 ml per minute in the graduated cylinder, or until the grout rise in the column is slower than 30 ml per minute. When one of the conditions is fulfilled, stop the stopwatch, close the valve on the flexible tube, release the pressure in the vessel, and remove the container, including the remaining grout. Measure and record the temperature of the grout. The temperature of the grout after mixing and at the end of injection should be between 21 and 25 degrees centigrade to prevent any temperature change-induced variation in the rate of hydration of the grout. Next, remove the column from the stand. First, place the solid rubber stopper in the top end. Then turn the column upside down and place the second rubber stopper in the bottom end. Finally, weigh the column to 0.1 gram and record as M3 on the data collection sheet. The weight of injected grout may be used to compare the injectability of grouts. When the granular material in the column used is prewetted, the weight of injected grout, mg, is calculated as the difference between the weight of the column after injection, including rubber stoppers, m3, and the weight of the prewetted column and stoppers, m4, both in grams. But one should keep in mind that the wet density of the grout will affect these results. Injectability of the grouts can also be compared using injectability curves by plotting the height reached in the column by the grout, h, along the y-axis, and the corresponding measured time, t, along the x-axis. Finally, injectability of the grout is classified as easy if the column is filled and 20 ml excess grout is collected at 1 ml per minute in the graduated cylinder. Feasible if the column is filled, but the 1 ml per minute overflow is not achieved. And difficult if the injected grout is halted or the grout rises more slowly than 30 ml per minute before the column is filled. When the grout is classified as difficult, also record the height reached in the column h in millimeters and the corresponding time t in seconds. The test will be repeated using individually mixed grouts for each condition until 2 experimental runs providing the same classification are obtained. The average height and time of the 2 runs are used as the final values for those grouts classified as difficult. The average height reached in the column for 2 runs should not differ by more than 25%. Otherwise, the test should be repeated.